everyone. Can you hear me? All right, we're going to get started here. The first thing that we're going to do is just ask everybody to come on in, and then Kylie Carter is going to do our land acknowledgement.
Today's program, we want to make sure that we take a moment to honor the deeper history of the space that we're gathered in. As we come together to celebrate the life, leadership, and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we're reminded that this moment is part of a much larger story. As we reflect on Dr. King's vision of justice, equity, and beloved community, we recognize that the work of liberation did not begin in the 1960s, and it does not end with us today. It's rooted in generations of struggle, leadership, and courage, including those of Indigenous peoples whose stories are too often left untold. Before continuing, it's important that we pause to acknowledge the ancestors and Indigenous communities who first cared for and stewarded the very land that we're sitting on today. Their presence, resilience, and continued contributions remain an essential part of our shared story. At this time, I will now read Lansing Community College's official land acknowledgement. Lansing Community College occupies the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the Anishinaabe, Three Fires Confederacy of Ojibwe, Ottawa, and Potawatomi peoples, in particular the city of Lansing, and LCC reside on land ceded in the 1819 Treaty of Saginaw. While all of our campuses are beautiful and inviting, we want to remember that we are guests as we walk on Mother Earth. As we delight in the sounds of the Grand River, we're reminded that this waterway has been used by the original inhabitants of this land daily for farming and transportation between Portland and Ole Miss. We would like to take a moment to acknowledge our relationship with the Indigenous communities, especially as we examine our relationship with our Indigenous faculty, staff, and students, and their contributions to the LCC community. Each day, as we walk on each of our beautiful campuses, we remember that similar footsteps were walked along these same paths for generations before us. As we honor those who have walked these paths before us and the 7 generations to come, we reflect on how we honor them in our interactions with Indigenous communities, the land, and all of humankind.
Thank you, Kylie. Now I'd like to hear from our college leadership. So, this time I'd like to invite Dr. Selena Samuel to come up. But before she gets started, let's tell you a little bit about her. Dr. Selena Samuel has served as Senior Vice President since her unanimous appointment by the Board of Trustees in July 2020. Prior to arriving at Lansing Community College, she worked for the state of Michigan and in various roles within the automotive industry. Dr. Samuel's contributions to higher education extend to the classroom from 2018 through 2020. She served as a teaching fellow with the Ferris State University Doctorate in Community College Leadership Program. She also serves on the executive board of directors for the Michigan ACE Women's Network and the Mid-Michigan Business Travel Coalition. Dr. Samuel completed her undergraduate degree at Michigan State University. Go Green. That's right. Through the Eli Board of College of Business, and earned a graduate degree from both Spring Arbor University and Ferris State University. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Samuel, Senior Vice President of Lansing Community College.
Thank you.
And good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We appreciate you being here at Lansing Community College for this event. So I greet you on behalf of our president, Dr. Steve Robinson. He couldn't be here with us today, but he is with us in spirit, and he is so glad that we are having this event. I also greet you on behalf of our Board of Trustees, and we have a few of them in the room with us. So I'd like to acknowledge them, Trustee Chadden Taylor, Trustee Terrence Frazier, Trustee LaShonda Thomas, and our fearless leader, our chair, Angela Matthews. So it's really important for us to acknowledge our president and our board of trustees, because in reality, we would not be able to have this type of event if we did not have their unwavering support for everything that is done in the Office of Diversity and Inclusion under the leadership of Tanya McLean. So I just want to say in front of everyone, thank you, Board of Trustees. Thank you, President Robinson, for your support of everything that we do here. And I appreciate being able to acknowledge Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and to celebrate and honor his life with you all. I always say, no matter where you are, whatever event you decide to go to, you're there for a reason. So I hope that you all know that you are here for a reason. One of the quotes that Dr. King is famous for is really talking about taking a step, even when you can't see the full staircase. And so when I'm in a room like this, and we're having these conversations about things that are very interesting, things that could be challenging, right? Having the conversation is a step of faith, right? That we can have a solution to the challenges that we face. And so my hope is that you all are here and that you're ready to use your faith, you're ready to have a conversation, you're ready to listen and learn. I always pull out a notebook when I'm listening to others, because I do believe that you can learn from everybody. And I do plan on learning from this esteemed panel today, and I hope that you choose to do the same. And what I'd like to do before I leave, when I realized that our chair would be here, I said, you know what, we cannot start this event without having our chair, Angela Matthews, say a few words, because she has truly championed a lot of things that we've done here with respect to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and racial justice. So if you can, with me, give a warm, warm, warm round of applause for our chair, Angela Matthews, as she comes forward to talk to you.
Wow, after that, I really didn't need to come up here because Dr. Samuel is absolutely amazing, and so is Ms. Tanya. But what I want you to do right now is I want you to just look around the room. Tell me, do you see one color? So you see a plethora, is that correct? This is what diversity is all about. And regardless to what flows down from the top and into our community, this is who we are. And this is who LCC is. We will always champion diversity. We will always have our doors open for anyone who wants to level up their lives, who wants to earn a quality education, because LCC is here for this community. And so you being here tonight is a representation of your belief that we are doing the work that we are supposed to do. Where are the students in the room? Raise your hand. Students. Thank you so much, because you really could have chosen to go to any other school. We're not going to say, go green, go white. We're going to say, go blue, that's right. So you've come to the right place, and we are forever grateful for that. We have some very distinguished men and women in this room. They are filled with knowledge and wisdom. They have gone through certain things within their lives, and they're going to be sharing that. So make sure, as Dr. Samuel said, take some notes, because what they have to say is vitally important. We have Dr. Tony Glasgow in here. May I have LCC representation stand? Leadership. If you're in leadership, you're teaching, you're a dean, you're in any particular capacity of LCC, I want you to stand. Melissa, I see you over there. Sit down. You can do a little bit better than that. Because these are the ones, yes, absolutely. Because these are the ones that champion, you know, what's going here with education and curricula. Sally, did you stand? Okay, I want to make sure you did. And then, you know, we have clergy here, we have civic leaders that's here. If you was at the M.L. King luncheon, we have Mama herself, Elaine Hardy, that's been championing that for a long time. The chair, we have Kelly Ellsworth Etchison here. We have many people in the room. Our illustrious mayor, I always call him that because that is what he is to me. And so I want to leave you with something from Dr. Martin Luther King. And of course, I have my comrades, LCC Board of Trustees. They be making trouble, but it's all right. Dr. Robinson, I know you're watching, so thank you so much for all of your support. We truly appreciate you. Martin Luther King Jr. says, quotes on diversity emphasizes unity, justice, and judging by character, highlighting that the true integration sees diversity as an opportunity, not a problem, and calls for transcending racial divides to build a beloved community where all people feel valued and respected for their intrinsic worth, not their skin color. You take anything away from here tonight, know that you are a part of this work of diversity that will continue from generation to generation, but it starts and keeps with us. All right? Have a good program.
Thank you, Dr. Samuel, and thank you, Chair Matthews. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for coming in the cold over to LCC. Have we got an evening planned for you? And I hope that you will enjoy each moment. Your presence really matters. Yours really matters. So thank you for doing that. And thank you for those of you who embraced our last minute request to come in 60s attire. If you're wearing something from the 60s, please stand up.
Something from the 60s.
All right, so seeing the creativity and the colors, and I mean, really, you could have worn anything you wanted to back in the 60s, if you recall. You had some people wearing long dresses, short dresses, very short dresses, bell bottoms, just a plethora of outfits. And that kind of shows us the differences that we had then and the differences that we have now. Whatever you're wearing is good. You all look great. So before we continue, I'd like to share a brief overview of today's program. We had our opening remarks, and we're going to have another coming up very shortly. We'll have our keynote address with Ms. Elaine Hardy, and we're going to have a moderated panel discussion with faculty and business representatives. Then we'll have a celebration with some student presentations, our LCC Jazz Band performance, and some closing remarks. So look for just a good time, just relax, be yourself, and just take in everything that you can with those around you. I like what was said earlier, that we're all here for a reason. Sometimes we don't know what that is until it hits us. So look for that special moment, that special connection that you get today. So we want it to be a comfortable place, a place to reflect, to listen, to celebrate, and be together as a community. Seeing the 60s kind of reminds me of a time where neighbors knew neighbors. Not just the ones on their block, next door, but those that were like 4 blocks away, 5 blocks away. You knew who was in your neighborhood back then in the 60s. Reminds me of coming home to, I don't know, meals not having to run to all of the fast food places. Reminds me of doctors making house calls, coming to your home. Anybody remember that? I don't, my parents told me. But it was a good time. And today we're going to celebrate some of those good times by coming together and sharing love, peace, and joy. Isn't that great to have this moment to do that and take advantage? Now I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Mayor Andy Shore. Andy Shore serves as the 52nd mayor of Lansing. He believes that the time for Lansing is now. He's focused on Lansing being a diverse, vibrant, and welcoming community. He previously served in the Michigan House of Representatives and as an Ingham County Commissioner. He and his wife, Erin, are proud to call Lansing home. They raised their 2 children here, both graduates of Lansing Everett High School. Mayor Shore is a dedicated leader who cares about this community.
But don't read the whole bio.
I'm going to tell you this, and consistently shows up in ways both visible and behind the scenes. The community apparently appreciates this because he was recently reelected. Before Mayor Shore comes up, and he already is, I'd like to share a quick personal note. One day I saw him out at lunch and noticed he was being interrupted a lot. So I decided not to bother him at that moment. Until I thought, why not? So when I approached him, he kind of laughed at me saying that I didn't want to approach him. And he allowed me to take a selfie. He was incredibly gracious. I decided at that moment that every time I saw him, I was going to take a selfie. And I can't believe how many I have, because he's everywhere.
I'm dropping everything.
Thank you very much. Wow. Well, not mine. This is you. There you go. You bet. Thank you. Well, nice assist. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for the invitation. I'm not even going to take the 10 minutes. Don't worry, because I wanted to yield some to the Madam President. But what an honor to be here, and thank you all for coming. First, I want to point out to our LCC friends, if you didn't look, the password on the Wi-Fi is freezing26, which I thought was hilarious because I put it in my phone and it had saved from the last time I was here, and it must have been over the summer because it was gardening25. So well done, LCC, with the passwords. I gave a speech yesterday in front of 1,700 people. Just 1,700 of our closest friends that Elaine always brings together every year. And I'll talk a little bit about that, but again, when I was asked to come speak tonight, and again, thank you to LCC for doing this, it asked for the history of Martin Luther King in Lansing. And the funny thing is, my history is different than the history that I got as I kind of looked it up. Because my history is I came here in 1997. I've been here 30 years. Proud. Came right out of college and got to work. But I've always known Martin Luther King as having an incredible influence in Lansing. Why? Because where you go, what you see is homage to Dr. King. We have a road named after him, which we should. But I did not really understand. I've known about it, but I did not understand the controversy that was. Those who were here in the late 80s and early 90s. That was really controversial. Now, it's just basic, right? Well, who would think that's a controversy? But it was. That was proposed in 1989, and it was controversial. And in 1994, 5 years later, it was finally passed. So it's not something as easy as you might think, and it makes you think about kind of the changing attitudes. As long as I've been here, there has been an MLK commission and an MLK event. going on at the Lansing Center. And I've been to a lot of them. I've been to 8 of them as mayor. I was at 5 of them as state rep. I was at 10 of them as a county commissioner. And I went before that because I don't just go because I'm an elected official. I actually really enjoy the program and hearing it. I believe to my core that the Monday of MLK Day isn't just a holiday. It's a day to go and to think about the teachings of Dr. King. And there's no better way to do that than with 1,700 or 1,800 of my closest friends at the Lansing Center eating the chicken and having the wonderful dessert. But hearing from Grammy Award-winning singers and hearing from speakers like Diane Nash and Ruby Bridges and even and we've always had kind of the civil rights icons who want to come here to Lansing, right? I had somebody ask me the other day, why Lansing? Why wouldn't it be Memphis? Why wouldn't it be Selma? And I said, because we've been doing it for a long time, we know how to do it right. Dr. King is celebrated and honored here in Lansing, Michigan. And that's been true since before there was a national holiday. It's been true longer than anybody, because we've been doing it for the longest. We have the most people that believe in it, that want to buy tickets and come see it. We have sponsors that make sure that the tickets are not too expensive so that our community can afford it. We do it right. And I think that, I can't really say, but I'd like to think that Dr. King is watching down on us and is really impressed with what we do here in Lansing. And to me, that is a tremendous honor to be the mayor of a city that has this. Dr. King has been here to Lansing, we know that. We know he spoke here a few times, Union Missionary Baptist Church, the old Lansing Civic Center, MSU, giving a major speech at MSU. So we know he's been here. We know that Dr. King has spent his time here. But I think that his life and legacy is honored with the things that we do. But is not just yesterday. And I'm sorry if Elaine is your keynote speaker and I'm stealing some of her thunder, but it's not just yesterday, it's every day. The MLK Commission is a working board and they work really hard, not just for one day of the year, they work hard for every day of the year to make sure that every day we remember the ideals of Dr. King. And some people forget that, but we have to recognize that. When I first became mayor, Elaine sat with me and the commission sat with me and said, it's not just about that one day. We want you to give a speech on that one day, but we want to talk about this in events. We want to gather people. We want to make sure that this is celebrated, that Dr. King's way of thought, his nonviolent approach, but getting things done. It's not just about nonviolence, but it's about getting things done. Last night we heard Diane Nash talk about that. It's not just nonviolence, not just a nice person. It's sit-ins and it's making people uncomfortable. It's sitting on buses and going to the lunch counter you're not supposed to. That's nonviolent, but that's not nice. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. And again, I think that we celebrate that. In Lansing, as mayor, we've tried to walk the walk. I can get up and say this here, and I said it yesterday, and I say it every year. But we try and walk the walk. We've done our studies. We understand, racial justice and what we believe the needs are in Lansing, and we haven't just done our studies and put a book on a shelf. We put money behind it. That's when you budget things, you're spending the limited resources you have on the priorities that you have, and we've done that. We took money that we got from the federal government under ARPA. We put $2 million into equitable economic development. Why? Because we looked at it and we said there are a lot of folks who are not old white dudes who want to be involved in development, want to be involved in building our cities. How do we get the tools to the people that haven't been able to get those tools in the past? And we put money behind it. And we created the Equitable Economic Development Program. We created the SEED program, which is for emerging developers. And we said, let's spread that around. Let's create an Empower program. Let's give some grants to people. And when you look at some of the work being done, it's incredible. When you go on the south side and you see an old strip mall that's going to be rehabbed by emerging developers, it's incredible. When you see new housing over on Baker Street, where a gentleman who went through that program is really excited. It's 2 or 3 units. It's not a major 28-story tower, which I love also, but we are getting the resources to the folks who need them to be able to be developers. And I'm going to say it, I want them to make a lot of money because we have to build generational wealth. And building generational wealth means helping those who have not been able to get help in the past to do it for themselves. We're going to assist them just like we're going to assist the big developers, and we're going to assist the folks who've been doing it for years and the folks whose parents have done it. That's important. We're doing racial justice grants. Again, we took some of our limited dollars and we said we're going to separate out some money and we're going to give out some dollars for racial justice to make sure that we are honoring that legacy, to make sure that we have equity into equality someday. And then, last but not least, I guess I am going to take your whole 10 minutes, I'm sorry. Who knew? You know, we're in a tough time right now. We are in a tough time right now, and everyone talks about that. I never thought we'd be in a place where we went from a Justice 40 program, which was honoring justice throughout the country, into a place where saying the letters DEI can lose you funding. And that to me is surprising. It really is. In Lansing, we believe in diversity. You saw that in the bio they put up. I said it last night. We believe in diversity. I believe that people who are different from each other, whether they look different, they love different, they pray different, we're all better because of it. We're all teaching each other. Inclusion means inclusion. Everybody is going to be part of that growth of the city. Lansing's time is now, and everybody is going to be part of that. It's inclusion. Equity. Making sure that folks that have not been able to get ahead in the past have an opportunity to get ahead. Not just equality, but equity. These are three concepts that everybody should celebrate. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, blue, red, purple, don't care. Everybody should celebrate that. And in Lansing, we do, and we will continue to do that. So I got my 30 seconds, I'm gonna give 30 seconds back. But thank you for the opportunity to be here and to speak. I really didn't create any notes, I just wanted to talk, and I got a chance to do that. But thank you all for being part of this program. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mayor. Appreciate you being here today. And as we continue, just